I'm getting your box ready. Putting stuff in it for you. See? That is your box. It has a dust collector, there's nail brushes you can play around with, another package right there for you, foil, some of the foils, I got a frozen bag for you, and then top coat that you can use, some dotting tools, some pretty cool stuff. I think it's pretty cool. And get it shipped out. I was surprised it fit inside that box. It's not a big box either. It's gonna be like a Walmart box. And a dampen dish I put in there. Put some chocolate in there. I don't know. Hello. Hello. How are you guys? I'm for a client, so I'm just cleaning up my mess that I have. And then there to go up. I fracked you? Huh. I guess. That's what you imagine. Maybe you should learn how to spell first. Before that. These are ink. I'll probably give you some of these. You can use these as, you know when people are doing those marble nails? Hold on. Hello? Okay, here I come. What the hell? That's what I'm saying. You don't know how to spell. I thought he had one by doing that. And then you could do marble with these. Just like... That's not open. I'm gonna put these in your box. You can play around and learn how to do marbling. Let me open it. Okay, so a little bit. And see how it kind of like, you can get that marble effect. And then you just get alcohol. And then, see, marble effect. But you know, you can just like play around with these. I'll give you the repeat colors, because these are brand new. So any colors that are the same, like there's a bunch of white. I'll give you another white, because there's a lot. There's like 4 of them. Peacock blue, emerald, regular blue. There's like 3 different blues. Two different purples. I would get more of like black or white. main colors people use. It could be a blue. What is this? Are these both? Oh, yellow, red. Oh, there's 2 oranges, so I'll just give you an orange. Okay, I got it real clean. We're going to do a fill. I won't be talking as much. I will try to talk, but I won't be talking as much. No, thank you for being and watching. A little glass. Dampen this, you can like mix stuff in. I don't know. Just like a bunch of random extra stuff that I have. I mean, no. It's either that or I just keep it in like a junk drawer. Oh, let me let her in. Table is He really said I fracked you. Nice one. So funny. We're on the internet. Oh, I gotta put some foil gels in. Not foil gels, foil paper. I can put it in this bag. It's empty to use now. Do you have some of these? Hello? Do you have some of these? Yes, please. Do you have some of these? You have some of these? Hello.
Hello, how are you?
How are you?
Fine. I stopped by Dollar Tree to get a urine energy drink, just in case I fell asleep. But then the register it didn't want to work, so I was there for a while.
Oh, you're fine. What kind did you get this time?
What?
Your energy
Oh,
drink.
the energy? This one? G Fuel? I don't know.
It sounds
okay.
intense.
I haven't read how much caffeine it has. I don't know.
Yeah, like I just need energy.
Yeah, because I always like fell asleep when I come home. I don't know. There
But
is
it's
something.
relaxing.
Yeah, that's why. That's why I feel like.
I'm like, go sleep. Just go sleep. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, those are...
These are new?
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed this one.
Are we going to do a cut down? They're getting
A little
long.
bit, yeah.
They're getting very long.
Which other ones? Just this one's are new?
I think these ones. Oops. Yeah. No, those are powders. Oh, these ones too.
Oh, these are new?
Yeah, those are new. And that one? Oh, this one's not even dry all the way.
You just did them or what?
Yeah. That was cute.
Yeah, I think this one.
Yeah, you definitely need to cut down.
She was transitioning, and the first time she wore a skirt happened to be the night they murdered her. 17-year-old Eddie Araujo lived his life as a young woman. Now, police think he was killed because of it. So maybe we should gently came up.
My friend came.
Oh, yeah.
She really liked her nails. Yeah, she was happy.
Sexual deception. Gwen didn't owe anyone any explanation. The case of the Araujo was a moment of change. It was a time when people learned about trans rights and trans rights.
How's work? Working yet?
No, I'm not working yet. Until May 24th. I still have like 2.5 months maybe.
I had a 2-month child. I had eggs, the newborn, which was 8 14, and then at 14, Eddie kind of went. So her 3 years old. Baby Eddie was real sensitive, soft-spoken. He did a lot of little boys, all of the different little boys. We always played like, they did. All the children he had. Baby Eddie always wanted to be so careful. That was natural. Communicate simple thoughts. Now, help us. Okay.
You cooked today already?
I mean, no.
But I'm not feeling like it.
No. Did you make dinner or anything?
No.
Are you going to?
Huh?
Are you going to?
I guess. Yes, I don't have the money to buy like in the street. I'll see what I have steak. I'll see what I do.
Steak is good.
Maybe I just like do some tacos or something.
It's not bad.
My son loves tacos.
never performed most credit conditions with her. And the first time she worked there, happened to be my prosecutors said the house where Gwen was killed was a party house. It was a work. This is between San Francisco and San Jose. Three brothers lived in the New York home, the Merrill brothers. It was also a frequent hangout for a number of their friends. One of them was 19-year-old Jimmy Neighbors. I know he's got it. Prosecutors believe Gwen met Michael Magidson weeks before she was killed, and he was the first one to be invited to the house. The group knew about him in Dulos.
What you drinking? Oh, just seltzer water?
Well, that was from yesterday.
Oh,
Jose Merrill was there that night with his friends, Michael Dixon and Jason Casals, all three were 22 years old. 19-year-old Jeremy Neighbors was also there. In addition, there was Paul Merrill, his girlfriend, Nicole Brown, and Nanny, the youngest of the Merrill brothers. Parents as a group was gathered around the kitchen table playing dominoes when they visited.
the man testified that he also tried to get Gwen out of the house, but Jerry and Michael stopped him. Jurors not only heard about Gwen's near escape, they heard how she literally tried to stop the blows during one of the her words. Witnesses testified that she pleaded for her life, saying, "Please don't, I have a family." There was more violence when the men took Gwen into the living room.
Bless you.
One back, grabbed the next, he laid his hands on a can of food, struck Gwen in the head with them.
Right before this happened, Nicole says she went to get her boyfriend, Paul, who left the kitchen when the conversation first got confrontational.
I came back out, and this was at the time where like things were not in sight at all. I tried to get over this. This is way too much for me. This is way too much for me. I gotta go. I don't want you to do it. I gotta go. And that's when I walked out from the city. The last time I see her was for a time. And I walked out.
Gwen was bloody and on the couch. What's unclear is her level of consciousness. Prosecutors say this was a crucial moment, past the point of explosive outbursts, and a pause long enough for the men to decide if Gwen would live or die.
There were some discussions about what to do, and a decision was made that they were going to kill Gwen. And she was taken out into the garage, and a rope wrapped around her neck, and she was strangled to death.
Like, when you start like the rope, right? When you use the rope to tie it up. When the blanket was wrapped around her, I felt it.
You made it, or you got
The
The
terms?
viciousness of
Oh, okay.
strangulation in the garage. Just think about the amount of time it takes for someone to die. You grab something around their neck, and you're twisting it tighter, 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 and they suffer, and suffer, and they suffer, and then they die. That's about the most vicious cold-blooded thing I can think of.
I can understand how people can go to such lengths to just disregard human life. I will find.
The four men then drove Gwen's body to the Sierra, a 4-hour drive to El Dorado County, where they buried.
They, of course, made their path. Nobody says anything. They just do our graves.
In the morning when I woke up to go to work the next day, her contact folder was insanity. Right there triggered something horrible in her stomach and mind.
My mom called me in a panic. She's like, I have a horrible feeling. I said, okay, Mom, I called the cops. I started to panic. So I started calling hospital, morgues. Sunday was one day reported her as a missing person.
So I knew in my heart and soul that my daughter was missing. A week goes by, Gwen is missing. No one comes forward with any information. It appears basically police have nothing to go on. But then they got the break they needed.
Well, probably never, ever would have been discovered but for one of the participants, Jaron Neighbors, telling a friend of his.
Rumors were circulating about a murder, and the chatter linked back to Jaron. Police got Jaron's friend to wear a wire and record Jaron talking over.
They arrested Jaron. He admitted his involvement, talked about happening that night. Ultimately, the dominoes fell.
After Jaron confessed, he took investigators to the gravesite where I found Gwen's body. The police officer drove up to my house. They could see through the blinds, and I knew instantly they were coming to tell me about the body.
I fell to my knees and I just cried because I already knew, and they said that they found her body. And all I could think was I needed to get to my mom.
From Jaron, police learned who else was there the night Gwen was killed, started bringing them in for questioning.
I
Tied a rope around their neck. Was it you? Mike? I know you mean pretty.
Police arrested Jaron Neighbor and his friends Jose Merrill and Michael Magidson.
Charged in the murder of a 17-year-old, the three defendants are being held without bail, also with committing a hate crime.
They're going to pay for what they did. And I hope that everybody out there who sees this learns something from this, because he was a beautiful person inside and out. Gwen's murder captured the public's attention, and I remember emotions were amplified on both sides. It didn't take long for the story to make national headlines.
I think her being 17 and a minor was impactful. She was clearly really beautiful. You couldn't not kind of stare back into those eyes and wonder who she was and who she would have been if she were still alive. The community was rallied around a very obvious injustice. For people who wanted to do something, they were outraged, they were upset, they were grieving for both Gwen and what this meant for trans and LGBT people generally.
The truth of the matter is we live in a very homophobic society. This society is one that will not accept you at face value, will not accept you for who you are.
Everybody's focusing on his lifestyle. The real issue is he was murdered.
I loved him unconditionally the way he was. He was beautiful as a male or a female.
How to refer to Gwen was confusing from the beginning. Keep in mind, this was a time when police and Gwen's own family referred to her as Eddie and he. Trans activists were adamant that we used Gwen and she. The process was a learning experience for the public as well as Gwen's family.
I take responsibility for the confusion that I caused by referring to her as Eddie Gwen. I was just wanting to make sure that neither was forgotten. Not Eddie, not Gwen. It took a while. I had to teach myself to say she and to be more consistent with Gwen. And I didn't like sitting in the courtroom hearing him and he and Eddie. It just rubbed me the wrong way because we weren't talking about Eddie at that time. We were talking about Gwen. They killed Gwen. They didn't kill Eddie. They killed Gwen.
20 years ago, the term transgender wasn't widely used outside the LGBTQ community. There were some that questioned, was Gwen being deceitful, presented as a woman, and others who firmly answered she was just being who she was. A larger conversation started to take place about the use of pronouns and how people identify. That dialogue was an awakening for many.
It's hard to talk about Laramie now, to tell you what it is, and the students really need to talk.
Murder happened as Newark Memorial High School was preparing to stage the Laramie Project. It's a play about the 1998 murder of Matthew Shepard, an Open Gate College student in Wyoming. And people started drawing parallels between what happened in Laramie, Wyoming, and Newark, California.
We're feeling what they felt, and we're going through the same things as them.
I'm having to deal with this terrible murder of Eddie, and to try to come to terms with that it really did happen here in my community is very difficult for me.
As the murder and the play got more coverage, a Kansas fundamentalist preacher announced that he planned to picket not just the play, Gwen's funeral. Reverend Phelps and his followers used predictable tactics, hate speech towards gay and transgender individuals.
Time is truth time, and funeral time is the time to preach some gospel.
Eddie lived the life of an unrepentant, homosexual sinner.
A lot of hurtful things said about him. He's going to burn in hell, and that, they're going to protest the funeral. It really hurts me. You know what? His life was hard enough already. Amid the turmoil, famed women's rights attorney Allred came to represent the family.
There could be no justification, no excuse for this kind of violence against this child.
In the end, Reverend Phelps did not show up to the funeral, but anti-gay and anti-trans demonstrators did.
If you live that way, you live that life, you die unrepentant, you go to hell. that crazy Reverend Phelps had come to protest the Laramie Project play at the high school. Well, he ended up at my doorstep the day before the funeral. The flowers that came from his Westboro church in Kansas. So there was a bomb threat. So they took that arrangement out to the back of the parking lot.
The funeral proceeded as planned. If anything, that uninvited sideshow seemed to strengthen the solidarity of hundreds of supporters.
That's really what it was. I released 17 monarch butterflies the day of her funeral for each year of her life.
3 weeks after the funeral, police arrested a suspect for Gwen's murder, Jason Cazares.
This one is not?
No, it's in a bottle like this.
Oh, okay.
You want to be one of them? Yeah. No, not seriously. I know you were there when you heard
The one color you want, and it's not here.
sexuality was
Where did I
sexual.
put them? But I just got them.
Fast forward a year and a half later, the trial finally gets underway.
Lita was someone with whom they could get drunk, get high, enjoy, at least some of them, random sexual encounters.
This was a great tragedy. This was an explosion.
That's the thing about having a pedicure and
that
this.
still resonates now in this court.
Yeah.
It's hard to know if this woman, Nicole Brown, hurt or helped the prosecution's case.
She has problems remembering how long things took, what the sequence were of events. She has memory gaps.
Prosecutors tried desperately today to bolster Nicole Brown's credibility, asking the judge to allow hours of videotaped conversations Brown had with police investigators. The judge ruled not to allow that evidence, disappointing Araujo's family.
Even though 3 of the 4 suspects were keeping quiet, the people's case had Jerry Neighbors, his confession, and his highly anticipated questioning under oath.
The prosecution's key witness is expected in court tomorrow. Jaron Neighbors agreed to an 11-year manslaughter sentence in exchange for testifying against the other 3 men.
He was the linchpin. He was a co-participant, but he was the only person that could give us everything from start to finish.
Neighbors' testimony about how Araujo died will be incredibly painful for the family, but they say necessary for justice.
We want everything to be told because Gwen's not here anymore and we don't know what happened.
The trial was agonizing for the family. They were hearing many of these details for the very first time. Prosecutors laid out not only the progression of Gwen's killing, but also, they said, her sexual identity provoked the attack. The testimony was unfiltered and graphic. At one point, Gwen's mother couldn't listen anymore, and I remember she just got up and left the courtroom.
I was there for her, not for me, because if it was up to me, I wouldn't have been there. I mean, it's the most uncomfortable feeling, and I remember in the beginning, everyone looked at me like I ruined their lives. The other parents were looking at me like I'd done something wrong. The difference is, they can still see their children. And I can't. And I never will. Ever. And she didn't deserve that.
During the trial, defense attorney seized on Jose's reaction when he learned that Gwen had male genitalia and started questioning if he was gay. They used that to explain why the men responded with violence.
He was scared. Am I gay? Am I humiliated? Was I tripping?
Defense lawyer John Noonan echoed the arguments of fellow defense lawyers that the crime in question was the result of an emotional shock and doesn't meet the definition of first-degree murder.
There was a heat of passion that he was responding to provoked by the discovery of a sexual deception that set off an array of emotion that propelled him into an act, that horrible act, but one that the law defines as manslaughter, not as murder.
They claimed the gay panic defense, that they panicked when they discovered that she was anatomically still a male, and Nicole Brown came out running, it's an effing man, and that's when everything started. So you blame my daughter because she's born this way?
Michael's client's defense was essentially my client was forced to engage in what was not a true consensual sexual act, and that once he learned that, he snapped, and he had that state of mind that exists when you have a provocation such that the ordinarily reasonable person of average disposition might tend to act rashly and violently.
While defense attorneys maintained that their clients had been tricked, Gwen's mom and sister had explained that at this point, Gwen had been identifying and living as a woman for 3 years.
Gwen didn't owe anyone any explanations of who she was and did not deserve to be put in that level of danger because she didn't reveal to somebody that she was trans.
When you have the California criminal justice system allowing murderers of LGBTQ people to come into court and say, sorry, I'm just really homophobic or I'm really transphobic and I freaked out, that completely devalues our lives.
It's right here. Are my notebooks from the trial. I actually keep my reporter notebooks next to my computer to this day. I still look up at them on a regular basis, and I think about the experiences of being at that trial. It was so intense and painful. You don't sit in a courtroom every day and hear about someone who is not dissimilar from you and what they endured because people hated who she was, and know that that's kind of how you are too.
In the end, the jury couldn't reach a verdict, and the case ended in a mistrial. 3 defendants, 9 days of jury deliberations, and 1 outcome, reducing the victim's mother to tears.
I will now declare a mistrial and discharge the jury for further service in this case.
I was shocked. I didn't think it would end in a mistrial. It was hard enough going to the preliminary, then from the preliminary to the trial. That was hard enough. And then you're going to tell me that I have to go through another trial? I didn't even know how I could do it.
The defense position outraged gay, lesbian, and transgender activists on a national level. Now they're appalled the jury did not convict the defendants of murder and hate crime charges.
We need a better jury.
Murder, yes.
Justice for women.
It's our job to make our voices heard.
Within hours, LGBTQ activists held a demonstration in San Francisco demanding a new trial.
This is like open season on us, and justice delayed is justice denied.
The day it ended in a mistrial, the very next day, was court in Fremont for her name change.
10 days later, Eddie's name was officially changed to Gwen. It was the first time in California that a court granted a name change after death to a transgender person. The mistrial happened on the week leading up to the Pride Parade in San Francisco. The transgender community was already talking about having an event specifically for trans people. At the time, none existed. So 3 days after the mistrial, they held the first trans march in San Francisco. Remembering was an important part of that gathering. Sylvia Guerrero spoke to the crowd.
I'll never forget her getting up and speaking at the first trans march in Dolores Park.
I don't think we could have been there that night.
There was a lot of outrage, and she was a spectacular, raw, personal, real voice.
But I want people to learn from...
At the time, I was the philanthropic director at Horizon Station. Through my relationship with Sylvia Guerrero, realized that there might be a really important way to turn this tragedy into education.
How hard must it have been for my baby to wake up every day and to be who she was?
The Horizons Foundation did a fund, the Gwen Araujo Education Fund. And through that fund, I did 70 schools. I just talked about experiences with my daughter, and I shared with them the things that she went through at school, which were important, but bullying and how it made her feel and how it made us feel. It personalized it.
I think it was really a message of tolerance, a message of love and acceptance, and of seeing difference as something beautiful rather than scary.
The second trial began nearly a year later.
It was just like, here we go again, you know, pull out your box of tricks, all you defense lawyers. I was there Monday through Thursday, and then I wouldn't sleep Monday through Thursday. My life was no life. Still don't have a life. I might as well still be stuck in that courtroom because those images never go away.
There was a significant difference in the second trial. Because of the legal name change, the lawyers and the media referred to the victim as Gwen, not Eddie. The prosecutor also worried the first jury may have gotten caught up in the first-degree murder charge, resulting in a hung jury. So this time, he gave the jury an out.
During closing argument, I told the jury, look, if you find yourself in a position where you can't decide whether this is first or second degree, you believe that it's murder, don't hang between first and second. Come back with a second degree murder conviction.
We, the jury, in the above entitled cause, find the defendant, Jose A. Merrill, guilty. The jury found both Jose Merrill and Michael Magidson guilty of second degree murder.
I don't know how they're gonna hang between two first degree and second. Like, you still committed the murder. You still literally went into the garage and choked him to death. Like, you could have been like, alright, you're a guy, like, that was gross, like, alright, I punch you in the face, move on. But no, you took it as far as beating him, or beating her, whatever, and then hitting her with a can bottle. Because she was trans, and you were the one that kissed her, and now you feel like, oh, I'm with all my friends, like, I didn't like that. Like, you really didn't know you were having sexual activities. You didn't know there was a pee-pee down there. Yeah, come on. Yeah. No, it's all your friends are getting together, and now you're embarrassed.
Sincerely and truly sorry. I wish I could go back to that horrible day and erase it.
The apology was a sharp contrast to what Michael had to say about the verdict.
This case is based entirely on lies. Lies by the witnesses, lies by my co-defendants, and worst of all, these lies were encouraged by the prosecutor. I received nothing remotely close to a fair and unbiased trial.
The sentence for Magidson and Jose Merrill.
Yeah, see, he don't care that he did it.
Jason Cazares received 6 years in prison. Jaron Neighbors got 11 years. Gwen's murder had a lasting impact in so many ways. Personally, of course, for everyone involved in the case, but also for future legal cases. A year after the second trial,
like, I'm not gonna lie, like, you guys killed him. At the end of the day, you did the murder. You deserve to go to jail.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
In 2014,
You got embarrassed because you found out it was a guy that you guys were kissing and having sexual partners with, which you guys probably already knew.
California was the first state to pass legislation that would not allow a panic defense for murders of
Like,
transgender
people are just
people.
weird.
The fact that we could use a defense to say, I was
I was
in a
saying,
panic
there was this party that he went to, and there was a guy there, and he was making out with the trans girl, or boy, whatever. He was making out with a transgender person, and he even asked him too. He was like, you know that's a guy, right? He goes, look, it don't matter. They got boobs, and that's it. But I ain't gay. What? What the hell? No. Okay.
He doesn't want to come out of the closet.
He's like, hey, okay. Okay. Do you then? Do you?
Only when it is called what it truly is, which was a murder, are you going to be able to have justice. If a defense attorney is able to lower the charge, then we are making transgender people more vulnerable.
The case of Gwen Araujo was a moment of change, a moment where her murderers didn't
That's
necessarily
like a girl.
get
Would you like 'em?
book,
Can I have one?
and it was a time
Yes.
when the media and the public learned about trans lives and
It helps with cavities.
Oh,
in
really?
ways that hadn't been approached before.
It has xylo. I don't know how to say that. That one. Xyloli.
Oh.
His pro is the neck. Haha. That's what you get. Like, if you guys didn't know, like, oh, I hit him too hard. It was an accident. Hey. But no, you took him to the garage and hung him. Like, that was no accident. You did it on purpose.
Can't find a job. Just struggling to survive. I don't have my own home, and I've been here and there staying with people short term, and I have stayed in my truck a lot of times. The nightmares, the visions of her body close to curiosity.
Oh my gosh.
It's those images that never leave my mind.
She definitely is just stuck in the same place, and she's never able to get herself back. And sometimes it feels like I know it feels like we lost my mom. It's not fair to her because she lives in this prison in her own mind. It's not fair to me and my siblings or her grandkids just to get what's left of her. Like, my mom worked. She was a single mom. She made good money and she just lost herself, so it's kind of sad. It feels like she died.
That's what happens when people die. You lose yourself.
Yeah.
You lose everything.
I went deep into the closet. I joined the military. I wanted to be the man that my dad wanted me to be.
So now what's going on with Trump and gay people? So,
Oh, I don't know. I know. I mean, I honestly, I don't even know.
I had to come out. The fear of losing friends was great. The fear of losing family.
I'm not really sure. But I heard like,
Where I connect with nature, with
I don't know, like he doesn't like gay people. And he doesn't like
and this is where I find Gwen.
he signed, I think he signed a law that they're not supposed, like, okay, transgender,
I
like,
think it's more of if you're trans, you shouldn't be playing in the same category as a female because it's not, and it is true, it's not fair.
Yeah,
How are
that's
you a
true.
fully grown man and I'm going against you? I'm not fast like you. Men are biologically faster than females. It does not matter. And there was this guy, he switched to a female to do wrestling and he won.
oh, of course, men are stronger. And he's going against the girl?
Yeah. It wasn't fair.
Yeah.
We need that.
Yeah, that's true.
That are being murdered.
But there are some transgender people out there that want to push, like, oh, you have to like me, or you're racist. It's like, no, I don't have to.
Was a horrific murder. The transgender woman's body was found in the Schuylkill River, badly mutilated.
33-year-old Vicky Ramos Gutierrez died in a fire Wednesday morning around 3 a.m. Investigators say he admitted stabbing Gutierrez and then setting the apartment on fire.
For somebody to stab you and do the thing that happened to her, you know it's fueled by hate.
How many of us need to be murdered? How many of us need to hang ourselves with our wrists? Because we don't have the community. We don't feel like we belong.
But I think he doesn't want them in the military either. Something I heard.
Because, like, the military women shouldn't even be in there. But if you're going to be acting like a woman and you just want a desk job, what's the point of going to the military?
Yeah.
Just go be a nurse.
International Transgender Day of Remembrance.
And that's one thing I don't understand. Okay, like the transgender.
Yeah.
That wants to be, Amanda wants to be a girl.
Yeah.
So then what? Like before in the military, he will go as
It
a
would be
girl
no.
or...
That's what they're saying. How are you gonna go to the military, supposedly, as you're biologically a man, then you switch to a female? How are you gonna go to the military as a female when biologically you still have the parts of a man? What, do you want to go sleep where women sleep? Like, that's not what you're gonna go shower where women shower and you have a big old wiener out?
Yeah, that's what before, and I did not agree. Like before, they
just like
wanted
there's
to do
this guy.
the bathrooms.
Yeah, there's this guy. He was a child molester, and before he went to prison, he was like, I'm a female. He went to a women's prison. How all of a sudden now you're a transgender female when you've been arrested? That makes no sense. You've always been a man.
And then like,
or a molester.
Okay, like at a school, let's say high school, if I have girls in there, and then there is this guy that, okay, say is transgender. But we know it's a guy. What is he doing in that girls' bathroom?
Exactly.
You're seeing hundreds of laws that have been written in the last couple of years.
Like, there's one guy who's transgender, old guy. He's like, I should be able to breastfeed children. What? Even another gay guy came out and was like, no children should be on your chest with your hairy nipples. Even a gay guy was even saying that, like, what he's doing is wrong. He's saying that he needs to go buy tampons because he's starting his period.
Oh my God, they're not.
You don't bleed. Where are you bleeding from?
Yeah.
Like, there's trans people like that try to be like, I have a period, I need a tampon. How? How? I should be able to breastfeed children because I am a trans woman.
No,
how?
You don't have all
And you wanna breastfeed other people's children. How? What?
Yeah, some people are just sick in their head.
Yes, there are some that are sick in the head and they use that trans thing as an escape to do whatever they want and get away with it.
Yeah.
I should be able to use the bathroom with your children.
Hard to hear.
Alright, you're gonna meet the wrong one. You're gonna fuck around and you're gonna find out. You're gonna meet the wrong one. That's not gonna play with those rules. Like, no.
Because I didn't have vocabulary, I didn't have support people to talk to about it. And it's huge to have people to talk about it, to hear that, and then be able to put yourself in a place like, this isn't not crazy.
Like, you can be trans. Go ahead. Go do your thing. Go do whatever you want to do. But when you start pushing it onto kids and start saying weird stuff like that, like, I want to breastfeed your child. No. No.
That person is sick. Their brain.
You are the reason why that it's looked upon like it's bad. You transgendered when you're 50 years old. Stop. You were never ever wanted to turn. You just want to turn it because now you can get away with doing weird stuff. No.
Gwen was 17 today, she might be non-binary, they could be non-binary. Today there's a lot more room for people to feel both masculine and feminine. They can feel neither. They can feel both at the same time.
A lot of people don't know that the white stripe in the trans flag is where a trans non-binary individual would fit in. There's the pink, there's the blue, and then there's the rest of them.
I am so impressed with the next generation around their instinctive understanding that there are so many genders that one can both be as well as be attracted to.
Happy 37th birthday, Gwen. Thank you for always watching over us. We love you and we miss you too much. Love, Mom. Fly free, my beautiful butterfly angel. Happy 37th birthday, Gwen. Get this face. Love you, Gwen. Love you, Mama. Happy birthday. I only wish
to grow up and to fall in love and to live in
Don't think these things happen to.
Look at all the trappings of a love story.
50-year-old Jennifer Dulos was last seen the morning of May 24th when she dropped her kids at school.
911, what's the location of your emergency?
I'm worried about my wife, Jennifer Dulos, and kids.
People love New Canaan because there's barely any crime, and this case rocked the town.
Husband, I bet anything.
Jen, I knew you had children. She
Put your thumbs.
absolutely not.
Let me cut this somewhere down.
I know he will retaliate if I try to harm me in some way. Early on, there were some red flags from Curtis. He had a volatile temper.
It's hard for me to reconcile the allegations with the person I came to know. This was every wife and mother's worst nightmare. How could this have happened to this perfect
I think there was a show, a movie that was this based off of. She comes from a rich family and stuff like that. And I think he started cheating. He started cheating.
Nobody's seen her, nobody has heard from her.
Like, if you're gonna cheat on your wife, at least let her know.
Yeah, listen,
That you're gonna be a cheater. Or see if she's okay with it. Or see if she's okay with it. Like,
May 25th, it was the
like, what if she's okay with it, but they don't even be like, or they do where they gaslight her and they lie. I didn't do that. You're crazy. Who is that woman? I don't know that woman. Tell the freaking truth.
I thought it was just
Stop lying.
another case.
You make it worse by lying.
On that day, I saw a mom's group that my friends had posted it on their Instagram with the caption, "So scared." I think these women in these groups saw a woman just like themselves in a neighboring community that's safe and thought, oh my gosh, things like this don't happen in our community.
People love New Canaan because there's barely any crime, and this case rocked the town.
It's been a very tough time for the family. We're all very worried about Jennifer.
It's both exciting and terrifying to spread the word about the law. I have been so utterly private for so long now. And now that I'm writing again about my most intimate thoughts, the inside of our home, the inside of my life, really, the urge to keep the word is here. And it's starting to soar.
My own house, Jennifer Dulos had
I don't get why wives or kill each other.
She had money. She had
I guess because they want to keep everything.
But what are you keeping when you don't get? You have kids. Like the kids should get everything. Or even why kids even kill their own parents for money. Did you see that one where that girl, she killed her parents, or she tried to attempt to kill her parents? Like she hired other people, and she acted like she was kidnapped too, and then her mom died.
Oh wow. No, I heard that one.
Her dad really was a self-made man.
Hill, Jen's dad, and he's just one of those guys who, when he likes something,
Like she
his eyes
faked
twinkle a
going to
little bit.
school and all that. It's like with all that dedication you did by faking going to school, you could have really got into school.
During college, and we were very close. We started off certainly each other romantically, which never manifested, but we really liked each other. She was a wonderful contradiction. Tall, thin, attractive, graceful, and yet she could be physically awkward. She certainly could be socially awkward for all of her grace. But I think Jen was inarguably one of the most insightful people that I met at Brown.
And somebody who really liked her, she didn't want to be with.
Graduate students to the dramatic program at NYU. Jennifer and I shared a lot about our inner lives and our personal struggles as well. She knew that she could come to me with anything, and I trusted her in the same way. At some point, I know Jennifer wanted to explore places beyond New York. She was coming around to accepting that you can't always control the direction of your own life. You sort of go with where the flow is taking you, and try to shape it to the best of your ability.
I drove cross country with Sophie on my lap in October 1999 to Colorado when I moved there, knowing no one. But knowing was where I needed to be. But I was not alone. I had Sophie. She loved me. She wanted me to find someone so she could love me as intensely too.
I think that it was really important to her that she not lose sight of wanting a nuclear family. And so when that wasn't happening for her, I knew that that was making her profoundly sad. So it was incredibly fortuitous that almost exactly at the moment that she met Fotis.
My name is Rich Rocker, and I was Fotis Dulos' attorney. Fotis was raised in Greece. He was educated in the U.S. system, ultimately went to Brown and then to Columbia, and he was exceedingly handsome. He would be the guy you'd walk into the room and everyone would be like, who is that? He wasn't that bright. I was a little bit of a snob about that. But Jen was attracted to beauty. And if that's a sin, there's an awful lot of sinners out there.
Fotis crossed my path twice at the airport in Colorado in 2003, and serendipity cast its spell. This man, who I met the first week at college, this young man I'd always liked. We had a special chemistry together, and we were careful to be careful with one another until lightning finally struck.
I remember that she was very, very excited that they had bumped into one another. He was this handsome, charismatic, funny, wonderful guy, and that she was really excited that they made some plans to see one another when they were both back in New York City.
At the time, Fotis was still married to his first wife. Fotis finalized his divorce sometime in July. He was married to Jennifer 6 weeks later.
Damn.
We weren't sure what.
That was really fast, but then.
Happened very fast, but I can say that I was very happy for Jennifer because I knew this was something she desperately wanted. That she was in love with Fotis, and Fotis seemed to represent everything that Jennifer wanted in a life partner. Her parents were incredibly supportive. They wanted to welcome him as a son-in-law, and I know that it was very important to them to throw a beautiful wedding.
Jen looked elegant, Fotis looked handsome, and they were a striking couple, the two of them.
I remember very long, beautiful, curving staircases, and we were all wearing very high heels, and it was just a challenge to walk down those stairs and not fall. Because the last thing we were going to do would be to mess up Jennifer's wedding. So we all made it down in one piece, which was quite perfect.
You never felt that Fotis was good enough for her. Where was my place to say that? And I never quite did. Do I wish I had? Maybe, but I don't think it would have changed anything.
Initially, the reason that Jennifer and Fotis moved to Connecticut was that Fotis had already begun developing some properties in the Farmington area. And I think it was also very appealing to Jennifer, having a and the kind of
archetypal
What is that supposed to mean?
storybook experience
This
one
is
associates with living in a suburb was
a
something that
light.
she felt she'd missed out on.
Oh, okay.
And she very much wanted to experience that for herself and to provide that for her kids. Jennifer was absolutely thrilled to have children. And having twins is obviously a huge responsibility and an overwhelming change to one's life, but she was completely game, loved every minute of it. And then having a second set of twins in pretty quick succession obviously increased her engagement exponentially. And then having a fifth child, all within the span of 4.5 years was obviously an incredible undertaking.
It's fun to watch your friends, and it's fun to watch Jen transition into another part of her life and morph into that new role.
She made a point that the kids function as a unit, and that's something that I see in them to this day, that they are a very strong unit, and that is all due to them. The question of what happened to Jennifer is horrifying.
The morning of May 24th, Jennifer was last seen dropping her 5 kids off at the Canaan Country School. She then returned home, last seen at 8:05, driving in her garage. Jennifer's nanny took the kids to their orthodontist appointment in the city. Jennifer was supposed to meet them there. Her showed.
I received a text in the afternoon from Jennifer's amazing babysitter, Lauren, asking whether I had heard from Jennifer that day. When she realized that something was, which is when, she got to New York and Jennifer wasn't there, that then to inform the timeline of what might have happened. Even if she were in some impossible situation, she would have let people know she was okay or that she was not okay. The fact that there was no communication from her meant something was incredibly wrong.
At that point, the nanny contacted the police because she worried that something could be wrong.
By the time I received the phone call, she was reported missing. She has 5 children, and no one's heard or seen her. To me, that was alarming. So by the early morning hours of May 25th, we're boots on the ground, fighting the clock. The first 48 hours.
When Buchanan police searched Jennifer's home in Buchanan, they found evidence of a physical assault in the garage. Inside that house is where police say they found blood stains, blood spatter, and evidence someone tried to clean up the scene.
Layers, young and started to understand there's more to it than just a disappearance.
At approximately 10 p.m., Buchanan police officers located Jennifer's Chevrolet Suburban parked near Waveney Park. The Suburban was unoccupied. It was backed up against a tree. The gear shifter was reversed, and then there was an apparent blood-like substance on pretty much almost the whole passenger side of the vehicle.
As soon as this mass police presence descended on Waveney Park, we all knew that foul play was suspected. You don't have that big of a response if you think this woman took off on her own. Something happened to her.
Just about everybody was swinging so hard for it. Well, definitely did it. It was definitely wrong. And part of me was like, well, they had more experience with him. And the other part was, it's just hard to believe.
I know what I've done. I know what I haven't done. And hope that this is going to come out.
Fotis Dulos was a successful real estate
And what about the kids? They
building and
disappeared
selling
too?
multi-million-dollar properties to high-end clients. But we learned later on that his financial empire may have had
don't even know what happened. No, the kids weren't dead.
to have caused him a very significant amount of stress.
Fotis wasn't a wealthy man. He made money, but she had a trust fund and parents that were worth tens of millions of dollars. It wasn't for money. So Jennifer always had the money in the relationship.
As a person, Jennifer was very supportive, and she definitely wanted to embrace what was important to Fotis. That's the kind of person she was. Sometimes she sacrificed her own identity in order to embrace his identity.
I knew that Jennifer's father would money as he needed. Instead of going to a bank, we'd call the father and say, $3 million, give him $3 million.
For a lot of people, money equates to a sense of self-worth. Certainly would be one of those guys who was hyped by, how tall he was when he stood on his wallet. And I think that the fact that his wife's family had control over his finances was emasculating for him. And that made him great. He literally.
Early on, there were some red flags from Otis. He had a volatile temper, and his way of expressing that was he unloaded on her verbally several minutes. Jennifer definitely endured emotional, verbal, and psychological abuse for years. When she shared that with me, it did not surprise me. I think that it is not uncommon that abusers or people who lose their temper don't do it in front of others.
Jennifer alleged that Otis started traveling more, not be a present husband or father.
Okay, so how much are you?
20 is your total. And then your next appointment.
Story took the bottom and fallen out of the marriage. And that was a real low point for him.
Even when she questioned what was going on within her marriage, she recommitted to it for the sake of her children. And she stayed in it until it was clear that it was completely untenable.
Janet said that she had suspected Otis of stepping out.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And she felt like Otis didn't want her to be there. Not really.
Next appointment though.
Okay, yeah.
He
Goes
met
in.
someone who, from his perspective, might have almost been a more
2 weeks is the 20th.
3 weeks.
27th.
She was interested in water skiing, so was
And
Dulos, and she spent a lot of
you want to do it 10?
traveling around the world, engaging in just the sort of athletic competitions
Yeah,
that
we
Otis
can do 11.
Dulos played a major part of his own life.
All right, so the 27
Yes.
That she was effectively being replaced in her family. She wanted to file for divorce, and Fotis refused. He wanted Jennifer to continue to take care of the children, but for him and Michelle and her child to build their own family together.
At that point, according to the records, Jennifer Dulos had enough.
Jennifer became very pregnant. That was also in the same time period that she discovered he had acquired a gun. I obviously cannot speak for Fotis or address why he had acquired a gun. I would suspect on some level it was to scare her. That made clear to her that she was potentially in danger, and even more important to her, her children were potentially in danger. And so she made a plan. She knew that she needed to take her children and leave in order to then safely file for divorce. So she left with the children and moved to New Canaan.
Think about that a minute. We all think we're going to wake up tomorrow morning and we're going to be alive. And a victim of domestic violence doesn't know that. So when they prepare to leave, they are prepared to be in danger because they know instinctively that the abuser is not going to let them go. It's a loss of control.
I mean, it's all terrifying. Statistically, that's the most dangerous time for a person trying to leave an abusive situation. So there was that. Then there was, what's he going to do when he finds out they're gone?
I'm afraid of my husband. I know that filing for divorce, filing this motion will enrage him. I know he will retaliate by trying to harm me in some way.
I'm worried about my wife and kids because they left to go to Dulos and I haven't been able to get in touch with them.
What kind of car were they driving?
It was a Range Rover. It's registered to Jennifer Dulos. You were on a roll?
For my kids. How long ago did they leave Connecticut?
At 4:30 p.m.
That whole period was really terrifying. The fact that Jennifer was fiercely protective of her children and was not going to
Back to this.
to his
We're gonna do the box, finish the box out.
Alleging violence. It started as aggressively as divorce can start in Connecticut.
Jennifer alleged that Fotis came at her with his SUV and then veered away at the last
I'm gonna
second.
get some foils you can practice with.
Fotis had chased her out of the house. And one of those times
I have to take off all these stickers though.
by
have reason to be.
Never told me that she felt physically threatened. I wonder sometimes whether she shouldn't make sure that that was ambiguous for me because she didn't want me to act, and she was probably right because it probably would have.
Nothing that I saw in his personality indicated that he would do that. Even the psychologist that he was sent to said that the testing that he had performed photos didn't indicate any psychopathy.
I had my differences with
Hello.
Jennifer, like many people do when they go through marriage. It didn't work out for us. But
I'm gonna give you.
in his way.
Jennifer asked for a restraining order, and it was denied. And it was denied because she could not
I don't want to give you. Oh, I want to give you a brand new one.
of a physical threat to her safety.
That is the current definition of domestic abuse in the Connecticut courts, is that it is physical.
I'm gonna give you a piece of this one. Isn't that a cool one?
Domestic violence had been different.
So I'm gonna give you a piece of this
I have
one.
no doubt that Jennifer would have gotten the restraining order that she needed. And then perhaps the dynamics of the court case, maybe it would have changed.
Jennifer knew that the divorce process would be a difficult one. So Jennifer had to access her inner fighter like she had never, ever seen it before.
The reason this divorce case
Oh, you're in India? Is that what you're trying to tell me, or?
they had shared custody, and
This one's really
part
pretty
of their
too.
shared custody, the kids were not
That's
to be around Michelle. And
pretty.
Jennifer found out from one of her kids that Fotis had apparently violated them and had allegedly asked his kids to lie about it.
A court order is a court order, and you're supposed to follow. I think Fotis didn't always want to take the advice. Fotis looked at Michelle as a good woman who had a child, and couldn't see why anybody would ultimately want to.
This one's pretty too.
Why can't the kids meet her? This is a woman that's going to be part of my life, and he just didn't get that.
In fact, you were given certain instructions by a judge in the Casper case, and you failed to follow them for instructions. In fact,
I respectfully disagree, Judge.
As a result, he lost shared custody, and the court gave him supervised custody.
Jennifer
Ooh, this is cute too.
to protect her kids. She thought Fotis was bad influence to them, and he really needed some serious help. Fotis took the position that what kind of mother would keep a loving father from his children. So they both had two different
So you get. What is your name? My name is Haley.
I feel like somebody's hitting on me.
What's your name?
It's terrible, mothers of your children. I don't think anything compares to that.
during the divorce.
Sounds like Arnold.
He missed his children. Pictures, he showed videos. My impression of Fotis that there was things missing, that he wasn't complete as of what happened in terms of his ability to raise children.
when there's a missing persons investigation, you go to the family, you go to the friends, you go to the people that know her best. We want to speak to Fotis, not for any other reason other than to enlist his help in finding Jennifer. On May 25th,
I didn't mean that. That's stupid. Hold on.
was supposed to meet me and my investigators to speak with us about Jennifer's disappearance. He showed up approximately 6 hours late with an attorney. And he says to one of my detectives says, sorry, we're not going to be helping with this. We're not talking.
Anytime a woman disappears, police always look to the significant other as the main suspect. So it wasn't strange that they would
What
be
is
looking
written
at
on
Fotis
your
Dulos.
hand?
What was so
This?
strange was that Fotis Dulos
That's my dad's name, and that's my mom's name.
he was estranged from Jennifer. This was the
I got him when I was like
5 children.
17.
Why would a man cooperate and answer questions? Surely he would want to help out for his kids' sake. But
Well, I know what else I'm gonna give you.
Participation in this investigation.
I'm gonna give you some chocolates.
So we believe we have
Give me
probably
two.
cell phone contained
Put
evidence.
those in there.
Whereabouts, so immediately applied for a search warrant to go ahead and search that phone.
police get the warrant, and they find out that Fotis's phone was at home in Farmington the morning that Jennifer disappeared. Therefore, he could not have had anything to do with Jennifer's disappearance. Fotis had no idea that by turning over his phone, that gave police the break they were looking for.
Police were less interested in truth at that point than in developing a suspect.
Yeah, I'm from America.
You were walking Hartford for 3 days. You know his phone's in the area. What's he driving? Faster vehicles, Uber. There's so many things that you're thinking about. So it was a mad dash to get as much video surveillance as you can.
Police find out that this is a stretch where the city has
I am from California.
So anything that happens is going to be seen by someone.
Buchanan police are investigating the disappearance of Jennifer Dulos. We seek video surveillance from homes or businesses that have
I have a client who's from India.
particular activity on roadways.
Especially we got video from the restaurant.
She says it's really pretty out there.
That's where this Dulos is after. You can see what appeared to be a person consistent with Otis driving this vehicle. Female that was with him, which appeared to be consistent with Michelle Traconis, driving through parts of the city, making several stops.
This surveillance video from inside a mini mart in Hartford shows Otis Dulos leave a black truck and throw a garbage bag into the trash can. Dulos then returns to the truck and removes our format, leaving it by the side of the building. Police say they never recovered the bag, but they believe it came from his straight white Chevy Suburban, found abandoned May 24th last year.
Yeah.
When something like this happens, 90 or 95% is disposed. So I can understand why
I need to wash these.
Yes, 90%.
I like using silicone mats when I'm working on it because they're the freaking best.
I'm in the 5 or 10%.
These are baby silicone
It
mats
has now
too.
been 3 days since Jennifer disappeared. All of the media is concentrated on Waveney Park, and that evening we find out that there is a big search going on in Hartford to connect Jennifer Dulos' case. Police are there going through garbage cans on Honey Avenue, so it became a mad dash and try to see if they could find anything that would connect to this case.
Inside the black trash bags have a clothing, 38-inch zip ties, soaked in what appeared to be blood, and then just various.
Oh, I'm gonna give you some glue stick. Do you have glue?
Blood soaked. We've got the video that
Do you have glue?
Otis and Otis driving around right after Jennifer disappeared,
Three of
and the
these.
accusation is that they were disposing
This many.
of evidence in the case in Hartford, Connecticut. Well, he lives over in Farmington, and Hartford's more than an hour away from where the victim lived. It began to become clear that she
Yes, I do nails.
she was very
I do nails and facials. Right now, I'm giving away some of my stuff that I have that I
There was vigils, there was hope she would return. But I think as the evidence started to lay out, it became clear that hope was dissipating.
The fact that we haven't found Jennifer yet makes it very difficult to accept that any of this has happened. Obviously, we all know that it's happened. We live it every day. But that is part of not knowing where she is. For me personally, there's no closure.
You hold out hope until you find the body. And
What do you do?
It's impossible to do that. It wasn't like it was a crime of passion. He planned this, and what a horrible plan.
These are all silicone molds that I use.
On June 1st, we received confirmation from the forensic lab that Jennifer Dulos' DNA was inside
These are my stamping plates. These are new ones that I just got too.
tampering with evidence and hindering process.
Otis and Michelle go to court. They plead not guilty, and bond is set at $500,000.
I have never seen that
go
many
to?
cameras with that many people in front of a courthouse in my entire career.
Usually, I'm the only media
Oh, this goes to this.
every
Duh.
Connecticut station, every New York station. They even fit all of the media into the courtroom.
And the reporters who identified as being Otis' attorneys, they immediately started following the show, showing the question. I've been recognized that everything that I do with Otis is going to be scrutinized
Two of these.
internationally. So I have to bring my A.
We wish we knew. Ask yourself why you have nerve about the answer to ask me that question. You know something we
I have another box right here.
They do, but where's the
It's right here.
where's your object?
These are holographic powders.
Norm Pattis and I were sitting
Are
in the
these
waiting room jail, and out comes Otis in an orange jumpsuit, fully shackled, like a deer in headlights.
The first started,
These are my holographic powders.
pinched myself a couple of times.
I have a lot of videos. Go check them out. They're like on my page, so I think you'll have fun watching it.
This guy was true. He was a guy that was building $1 million to $2 million homes, and now he's sitting in a small cell and he's walking in an orange jumpsuit shop. So that'll take a toll on anybody. Outside court, Norm Pattis, defense attorney for Fotis Dulos, is challenging the state to prove that Jennifer Dulos was actually dead.
We categorically deny that Mr. Dulos had any involvement in the disappearance of his wife, Jennifer, and we defy the state to prove that she is in fact dead.
It was eye-opening and disheartening to actively imply that Jennifer might somehow have done this to herself. I found that really frightening.
I've asked myself, who is Jennifer V? I don't know. Again,
Oh, here are more flowers.
I don't know what the ultimate.
I'm gonna give you some of these flowers, and then when you get your box, we can do the flowers together. Does that sound good? And then we can like do it with acrylic.
It was actually dominated for some period of 3 to 4 hours, which on the state's theory would have given time to drive down to motivation and dispose of the body, get rid of a car, and drive back up to farming. It's a suggestion.
After Mr. Dulos was arrested, investigators are now determining, for one, if Fotis went to New Canaan that morning, and did he take Jennifer? Or did someone else do it? We went to the drawing board, and we wanted to know, okay, how many vehicles did Fotis have access to that day? How many cars does Fotis have? Well, we knew about the wrapping, we knew about the chair.
Right now I'm getting a box to ship out nail stuff to one of my orders. And then we are gonna practice nail stuff together. Do you want me to ship you a box? If you would like to have a box, I can ship you some stuff.
Powell tells police that he has a Toyota Tacoma, but he left at Fotis's home, and when he went back to get it on May 24th, it wasn't there.
His interview was extremely important for us to tighten up the timeline big time, because now we know where to start looking at surveillance videos. So if you go back on Tuesday morning, where did that Tacoma go after he left?
Police now try to see if there's any evidence of Powell's Toyota Tacoma in New Canaan the morning that Jennifer disappeared. Because of cameras, they are able to track the Toyota Tacoma on the morning Jennifer disappeared, and they have going from Farmington on the Merritt Parkway at 5:22 to New Canaan. A school bus even has a shot of it being parked outside Waverly Park, not far from where Jennifer's Suburban was discovered. Powell tells police a few days later that Fotis was adamant that Powell remove the seats from the Toyota Tacoma. Powell did, but he still held on to the original seats from the Toyota Tacoma, and he turns those over to police. Police test the seats.
No, I don't. My client does. She speaks it fully.
Obviously, a lot of red flags went up at that point, and thankfully he was smart enough that...
Yeah, India is really a cool place to like travel to and stuff.
Arrested, charged with tampering with evidence. It's a new count, all related to this red truck.
New information tonight on the disappearance of New Canaan mother of 5, Jennifer Dulos. The attorney for her estranged husband, Fotis, says that his client may have been the target of a foot job by his former boss.
Jump the ball here and please not guilty. Nothing places Mr. Dulos at bar other than the state's police. We're eager for this fight, and the state is bringing.
How many languages do they speak in India?
Probably the worst way. Police released more than 400 pages of search warrants. Authorities put together a timeline of exactly where Fotis was moving the morning Jennifer Dulos disappeared.
On May 24th, 2019, at approximately 4
I've never been to India. I want to go travel there and check it out. I've seen people travel there.
area in the red Toyota Tacoma pickup. He arrived in New Canaan shortly after 7:10 a.m.
He then allegedly parked near Waverly Park, took a bike that he brought along, and then biked to Jennifer's house. Their theory is that Fotis was lying in wait for Jennifer
Lapham Road near Waveney Park, where 40 minutes goes by.
Police theorize that he moved Jennifer's body from the Suburban into the Toyota Tacoma. The Toyota Tacoma is later picked up on the Merritt Parkway, driving from New Canaan to Farmington, and it returns just before 1:30 in the afternoon. Every aspect of this seemed to have been caught on camera. What never was caught on camera is what happened to Jennifer's body.
We do not refer any time the defendant is in charge and the state that she may lose detention due to the to the court. You understand your rights? I do.
Fotis and Michelle were both able to make bond, and Fotis was once again back in his home in Farmington, living as a free man.
Subsequent to his arrest for the murder charge, there was a protective order put in place that said that he couldn't have contact with his kids because he was charged with killing the mother of his children. And I said to him, I said, Fotis, this is the end of the road for us. I can't help you anymore. There's no chance you're going to see your kids.
You will not have any contact with those protected parties in any manner. That includes by writing, electronic, or telephone. You will stay 100 yards away from the protected parties. So, do you understand all the different terms of the protected parties?
Yes. Hello.
Just
I'm gonna go get my drink.
Just sucked the air out of my lungs. I knew at that point something changed in him. I knew that he had held hope open for the ability to see his kids. And I told him, there's nothing more I can do for you now. That really had an impact on him. He recognized that the doors were closing around him.
This is live now at Lifestar Helicopter carrying accused killer of his wife Jennifer Dulos. This is Fotis Dulos in critical condition with a faint pulse at the moment after an attempted suicide at his Farmington home. This could have been a situation where he felt, hey, I'm going to be going back to jail and I'm not going to ever get out.
I was
So dumb.
in class with my daughter, and my wife kept calling me. She says, turn on the news. They're performing CPR on Fotis. I said, oh my God, what are you talking about? They said, yeah, they just pulled him out of his car. They're performing CPR on him. He may be dead. I'm still saddened by the whole thing.
2 days later, Fotis is dead.
If you are reading this, I am no more. I refuse to spend even an hour in jail for something I have nothing to do with. Enough is enough. If it takes my head to end this, so be it.
This was not the ending we anticipated in the form we hoped. Mr. Dulos' death caught us both by surprise, and it's something from which you don't quickly recover. We didn't see it coming, and we cared deeply for him. The case against Mr. Dulos is over for the time being, and Mr. Smith and I
made some noodles.
have some healing to do.
To me, it left a lot of unturned stones. Only he knows what he knows, and he took that with him. For us, it was disappointing for seeking justice for Jennifer Dulos. I hope that with someone's testimony in this investigation, maybe one of the co-conspirators, more information does come out so we can act on it and we can find Jennifer.
I think Michelle's trial is going to shed more light onto the facts of the case. My understanding is that the police have additional information beyond what they shared in their arrest warrants.
I am convinced that somebody knows where Jennifer is. I can only hope that their conscience impels them to come forward with that information.
The answers that Jennifer's family and the public want, I as a journalist want that too.
The sadness goes away, but the longing doesn't. And I certainly never
What do you guys do?
that Jen would not be around anymore. As one moves through life, you reflect on your time with them. Something will trigger that memory and cascade down. You go, I wish I could, and then we can't, and they're just gone.
Jennifer was absolutely one of a kind, the best friend you could ever hope for, the most loyal, thoughtful, fiercely funny, loving person.
And the planet's a little darker because she's not on it anymore.
The year that Jennifer Dulos died, 2019, there were 15 domestic violence homicides in Connecticut. All 15 were tragic. And what we have to do is make sure they're not forgotten. All of them. All of them.
On Sunday marked a year since Jennifer Dulos disappeared. And today we're hearing from the local lawmaker who's proposed new family court legislation in Jennifer's memory.
Part of that justice means reform in the family court system. Cancer wants the legal definition of domestic abuse
emotional, psychological, and financial abuse.
What people may not realize is that when someone seeks a protective order from family court in Connecticut, they have to prove that there was physical violence or threat of physical violence. Jennifer Dulos applied for a protective order from Connecticut courts and was denied. This bill might have saved her, but it definitely can save thousands of others.
There's so many people hurt by this situation. The kids knowing and believing that their father may have done that to them. I mean, just awful. His sister lost her only brother, and Jennifer was a loving mother and had lots of friends and was connected in the community. Everybody was wounded in some way, some more than others. And it pains me to think that a son could have contributed to this situation somehow.
I hope the next time that we talk about Jennifer Farber Dulos, we're talking about change that has been created because of her disappearance and making life better for others who face the potential same fate that she did.
I think the most important thing for survivors,
I have another girl at
all
6
of
o'clock
those
too.
who love them, and for all of us to know, is it doesn't have to be always so. There is always hope, and there is always somebody there, because if we all stay in touch, we are all part of a fabric. And as we weave that fabric, it's a safety net into which we all can fall and be held. Stay in touch. It's the best, kindest, most generous thing that you can do.
There's some solace in knowing that her spirit is in every one of her kids. It's like they're a prism and they refract different aspects of her. Sometimes different aspects on different days, you know, and then it all comes back together. So in that way, she's all around us all the time. And we miss her every day.
Oh my gosh. What else do you guys want to watch? Let's see this. Is there a show that you guys want to watch? Let's see. I don't even think I finished this one.
When I became president, I asked about the secrets. Aliens, Bigfoot, who killed JFK. The president was trying to warn me. He knew something.
Do you guys believe in aliens?
Secrets of the history of mankind. It's right under your nose. Don't let you tell me.
Is that a real thing, you think? I think it is. What do you guys think? Tell me if you think it's real. I'm gonna use some noodles. I don't know what else to put in your stuff, Sandra.
That's great. Step out of the house. Step out of the house. Step out of the house.
Alright, get the fuck out. It's not even your house. Okay. Sandra Are you on?
about what Ruby and Jody, if the case,
I'm gonna tape this up. Hold on, tape it, send it out. Okay, I'll be back. I'm gonna go live on Twitch right now.